What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Everything Wrestling. Today, we will be going over our next episode of our WrestleMania Greatest Hits, and today's focus will be WrestleMania 6 and WrestleMania 7. So, let's get to it. First match up, as you can see by the picture, shout out to Bud Lightyear for pulling off this excellent shot. We are going to the WWF tag titles, which was the Colossal Connection, which was comprised of Haku and Andre against Demolition. As you can see by the picture, um, Demolition will win the match thanks to a mishaps from Haku, who ended up kicking Andre in the face. And this also basically would end the uh story with Andre and Heenan also. So as we know, Andre legs was getting bad on him, and pretty much it was kind of time for them to drop the belts. And of course, who would pick them back up would be Demolition. So pretty decent match for what it was and the limitation that Andre had, but nothing to write home about. All right, our next match that we're focusing on was the mixed tag match between Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire against the Macho Man and Queen Sherry, or Macho King, I'm sorry, and Queen Sherry. Now this match, entertainment wise, pretty good. For wrestling match, nah. Now you, of course, you know Dusty is not the greatest master, but he's gonna give you the entertainment. Macho, of course, top of the line. Now Sapphire wasn't really a wrestler. But she still kind of semi held her own. But of course, Queen Sherry did a great job of carrying her and Sapphire. So in the picture, we pretty much just kind of did the Macho King's entrance, and that Queen Sherry is one of the Mattel's best female figures, in my personal opinion. Just the overall figure, and kind of it being the two two in one figure before that became actually a thing. So uh, definitely like that one. And that Macho King figure, I think that was his Legends figure, was one of his good figures. Now the main event uh was between was actually the title versus title match between Hulk Hogan, who was the world champion, against the Intercontinental champion, the Ultimate Warrior. And I mean, anybody that's seen this match know it was pretty much the passing of the torch. Um, hold for hold, power for power. It was overall, like, the storytelling in the match was great. The hype leading up to the match was great. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you check out that match. But as you can see in our picture, we got Hogan, as Macho says, doing his standard hot dogging. And we got Warrior in the background doing his pose. So like I said, one of the legendary matches, and I think one of the most iconic matches, next to Hogan versus Andre. All right, next up, we are heading to WrestleMania 7. And the first match that we will be covering is the WWF Tag Title match, which was between the Nasty Boys with Jimmy Hart and the Hart Foundation. Now, overall, this was a pretty good match. You know, even though the Nasty Boys is known more for their hardcore style, they did well hanging with the Hart Foundation. And we know the Hart Foundation, one of the top teams in the business. So, and we also know that the Nasty Boys haven't half stepped. I mean, say what you want about them, but they have held tag titles in every promotion they were in, AWA, WWF, and WCW. So they got to be doing something right. All right, next up we have the blindfold match, which was between Rick the Model Martel, and Jake the Snake. First of all, shout out to Bud Lightyear for recreating this photo, which was spot on. Um, Gimmick wise, there's a reason that you haven't seen them do this match again. But for the time that this happened, it was definitely an entertaining match. We know Jake and Model worked very well together. The storyline leading up to this match, everything surrounding the match, all the way to Jake being blind in that whole thing. Very very well done. So if you haven't checked it out, I would definitely say check it out. Now, do we need to see another blindfold match? No, no. The gimmick was cool for that time, but there's a reason that we haven't seen. Our next match was the retirement match, which was the Ultimate Warrior against the Macho Man Randy Savage, with Sherry in his corner. And I mean, storyline wise, this is another iconic matchup, um, from the beginning to the end. This was one of the best matches uh, in terms of storytelling that I can say pretty much. I mean, all the way to Elizabeth and Macho getting back together. Like that's this was just one of those great storytelling in the ring. Now in the picture, we were recreating the tail end of the match when Warrior went for that final shoulder block right before he pinned Macho. Uh, that Ultimate Warrior, the Ultimate Edition Warrior, very very great, perfect for recreating this match. The missing face paint definitely was a great addition to that figure, because by this time Warrior had lost most of his face paint, because it was such a grueling match. And at defining moments, Macho Man is one of still holds as one of the best elites out there. It was ahead of his time with the clothing, the accessories, etc. It's a shame that pretty much Macho's contract got canceled right before they was getting ready to release the Ultimate, because that is one that everybody would love to see. And hopefully they get it back and we can see it again. But for right now, definitely that elite holds his own. And as you can see, we got Sherry in the corner. But if you haven't checked out that match, great match, check it out. And the final match that we're covering is the main event, which was Hulk Hogan coming in as the challenger against Sergeant Slaughter, who was the champion. And of course, typical Hogan match, but for the time frame, it told a great story, because during that time you had the whole Iraqi war going on, the US against Iraq. Um, you had Hogan representing the real American, and you had Slaughter, who was the turncoat, and he was on the Iraqi side. And so, like I said, storytelling, very well done. As you can see in the picture, we have the blood on Hogan, because during that match he did get uh, busted open to represent, the blood of America and all that. I mean, again, storyline, the showmanship, excellent. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check it out. Uh, so, other than that, that concludes our WrestleMania 6 and 7 episode. Make sure you go and check out our other pay-per-views up that we have from WCW and WWE. Um, we also have the Monday Night Wars, and if you haven't checked out our animations, make sure you go over there. We provide some what can I say, tips and tricks to help you pull off your creativity. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. and hit that notification button, as we have quite a bit of stuff coming down the pipeline, and we definitely want to make sure that you are the first to know and that you actually, on this ride with us. We appreciate all the support and thank you for taking time to check us out today. Um, until next time, y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay blessed. And we'll catch you on the next go around.